I'm being persecuted by countless whites, Jews, and LGBT people. The biggest culprits in terms of the people who obviously are controlling them are English, they're American, they're of German descent, they're of Jewish descent, LGBT people. Okay? So, obviously, people don't persecute Jesus for no reason, right? You don't persecute the most righteous person that ever lived for no reason. You don't play stupid about who he is for no reason, right? And when they're doing it for no reason, it's because they hate their kids. So the reason is that they hate their races, they hate their kids, they hate the planet, you know? And if you hate your kids, your life probably sucks, right? You know, my goodness. I mean, there's no way for these people to even care a little bit about their kids while they persecute me. Okay, you got to consider degrees. For those of you who think, oh, maybe this is necessary, you're not thinking. Back in 2016, I didn't wear glasses. I wasn't fumed to the same degree that I am these days. Okay, and I wasn't famous, right? It's easy for them to control social media, and that's 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Think about how much more technology they have and how much more control they have over the system 8 years later. So they're doing it to this degree because they hate themselves, and they should. They're the types of people who would write a story, whose ancestors wrote a story about them crucifying Jesus, okay? And then 2,000 years later, they persecute the most righteous person ever possible. And after I'm gone, no one will be righteous. So, you know, when you look at this thing, right, I'd be right to start calling them names. I'd be right to say things that seem racist. I'd be right, okay? The facts are there. They, as a people, have refused to do what's right, and countless of them have scrambled to persecute me. And this is not the first time in history we've seen the failure of the white Jews and LGBT community. Okay, World War I, World War II, what were they doing and why? What exactly were their reasons? Are they the forefathers and foremothers of the people who would eventually persecute me? Yes. What were their reasons? They were just greed, sexual control, cult lunacy, ritual madness. They had no sound justification. Imagine you're sending your people out to fight a war and it's just for greed and pettiness. Then you take advantage of their women while they die on the battlefield. Oh, I'm sure that's what someone who loves their wife would do, right? You know, take advantage of the widow, like it says in, the Bible, where the prophets are complaining about these people taking advantage of the widow. It's like King David, right, sending Bathsheba's husband off to die. I mean, these are sick, perverted, sick people. And if they were, of course, you would see, you know, hypocrisy and shallowness in the church and the various social institutions, right? And you do. You would see them create political parties that are shallow and evil, and they did. Again, you know, these are the facts here. Did whites, Jews, and LGBT people create the Communist Party? You know, are communists known for rapes and murders like capitalists are? Yes. Okay. Did they create capitalism in its current form? Yes. And is this machine that's just hungry and raping and killing everyone? Yes. You know, I challenge you to do research into, you know, the Communist Party of Russia. And you see that according to the Jewish Institute, right, the Jews admit that they supported the Communist Party. They admit they supported the rise of communism. You think they were there to make sure that moral precision reigned supreme? No. It was about controlling the money and controlling sexual behavior. Read the Communist Manifesto. Look into communist free love. It was about controlling sexual behavior, just like capitalism. You know, capitalism, the controlling of slave breeding, what have you. So you see these systems that come from these people who argue that they have their values are superior, right? You know, Germany is where modern communism is said to come from. It's in the West. Same with capitalism. So how the hell could Western values be superior or even equal when they've created these monstrosities? When they're persecuting the most righteous person ever because they're not man enough to have the discipline to not persecute me. When they look in the mirror, they see a bitch who's far too unprincipled to have even a speck of fucking manhood, which is all it would take to make the sound decision not to persecute me. Okay? There is no science experiment that makes it worthwhile. No fucking ritual. Okay, what the fuck? We are talking about people who are not men, who can't point to a single man in the history of their groups that everyone agrees is a man. Now, I'm not saying if such a thing didn't exist. Maybe it did. Maybe in Egypt. I don't know. But when you see that clear-cut evidence and they're elevating wicked people and none of them are helping me out, okay, none of them are scrambling to obey God through me. You know, you can't help me by rebelling against me. It's like you stabbing me in the fucking back and say, look, we're trying to scratch your back. No, I don't want you to scratch my back, and stab me in the fucking back isn't helping me. So it's clear what the verdict is. As they chose to torture me, what should happen to them and their offspring in the afterlife, their souls, their essence? Since they chose to challenge God and say, hey, your son better do what we say, or we're going to torture him more, how much should they fucking suffer with their offspring? How much should I personally make sure they suffer with their offspring? If some racist Jew acting bad, excuse me? Okay? You fucking idiots. You think that it's smart to fuck with me? What the fuck? Then you could never even face me like a man? You couldn't do it!